absolutely devastating.
Oh!
Here, this is Joey Owens' show. They've been trying to get me on this broadcast forever, and this is the worst damn broadcast I've ever been on. So you all can kiss my ass while I win this match.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to G.W.R. Gonzo'S Wrestling Room, June 9th, 2025. I forgot the date.
We're back.
You forgot the cough, too. So
I was starting coughing right before we started.
I'm going to start now. You had to bring it up, Marcus, didn't you?
Joined by Marcus Fine and Ward Misery. How's it going, guys?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Not too bad.
Oh, shit.
what's up, Justin Danger?
We got a special guest we're going to bring on right now. Zay Gates.
Yeah, I got the biggest champ in the building. How y'all feeling? I know y'all excited to have me.
Most definitely.
Been a while since you've been. Been a while since you've been on.
Excited to see me.
Yep, definitely. Like Chris said, it's been a while since you've been on with us. That's
Yeah,
good to see you.
It's been a minute, man. It's been a minute. I had fun the other times I was on here, so hopefully we have fun today.
Well, I hope so, but Warren's on with us, so you never know.
Hey.
Let's get right to it. You're going to be at a big show this Sunday. I think it's called Double Down, the tag team tournament. It's Sunday, June 15th. And would you give us the particulars about this show?
Yeah, man. This Sunday, the big champ is in the Double Down tournament. You know what I'm saying? Hey, everybody already know this tournament, how this tag tournament finna go. Cold Hard Cash is up regardless. So either me and David walking out with them tag champions or Christian and Rico walking out with them tag champions. But somehow, some way, we gonna make sure Cold Hard Cash walk out with them tag champions. So that's this Sunday in Oakwood, Illinois at Skateland. Oh, no. I'm tripping. It's at the 210. But if the weather bad, then we at Skateland. Yeah, y'all ain't gonna want to miss that, though. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a W tournament. Everything that y'all gonna want to see, high tag team action. We got tag teams that work every style. So y'all already know this. It's gonna be something to enjoy. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, come out this Sunday. Show start at 4:30. 4:30 is doors. 5:30 showtime. See, I got it.
Illinois time.
That's Central Time.
Yeah, Central Time. I forgot. It depends on your time zone. Yeah, but that ain't all either. Y'all can also catch the big champ on Fridays at the Dub 2, 1151 South Kentucky Avenue. Doors 6:30. Showtime 7:30. That's actually y'all really ain't gonna want to miss either.
Yeah, that's for sure. Hey, Marcus, now you've never had trouble with Central Time, have you?
No. I mean, it's better to be early than late.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Now, Sunday, too, is the Cobra and Nick Diamond.
Yes.
So it's going to be
a great match.
Hey, that's gonna be something to see. I've been in there with the Cobra, so I ain't gonna cap. Nick Diamond, you in there for a tough one. Because the Cobra, hey, he's something serious. But I gotta be, listen, that don't take away from the fact. It doesn't take away from anything. The Cobra, I still need that because he felt like it was a need to stick his nose in Cold Hard Cash. I know y'all saw that. Y'all seen that, right? That was injustice what he did to me. Y'all gotta agree with that one.
Warren might agree with it, but I'm not.
What?
I didn't see it.
Come on, Marcus. You can't do me like this.
Was I happy? No, I'm never happy anymore.
Nah, man, that's
I
not
got
right.
to pick with Warren too. He just doesn't know it yet.
Oh, buddy.
Come on, Chris.
Okay,
Chris, y'all gotta agree with me as well.
Well, I didn't see it. I wasn't there that day.
Well, let me give y'all the scoop on what happened. All right. So Cold Hard Cash was being Cold Hard Cash. You know what I'm saying? Was doing our thing. Tyler Scott thought it was okay for him to try to be bold, and he got dealt with. And in the process of him being dealt with, and in the process of us dealing with Zach Nova because he feel like he wants to get his cheap victory on me and David. The Cobra feels like it's okay for him to come out and stick his nose in our business and wants to put his hands on the big champ. So, in my defense, Tony and Chris, am I right for how I feel towards the Cobra?
Well, one thing I have to question: why would anybody want to help Tyler Scott?
Exactly. See, that's why I mess with you, Tony. Come on now.
Now, I like Zach Nova, but Tyler Scott, I don't know about. Chris, what do you think about all that shit?
Sounds like Zay's in the right to me.
Okay, all right. We 3 for 1, Marcus. You are overruled. Your opinion right now does not matter at this point.
The real question is, what does Kelly think?
Yeah,
What do you
Kelly.
think, Kelly?
Kelly, what you think? Who's in the right?
She's in the other room, actually. Well, she'll get with us when she sees it. Her feed's a little slow.
Marcus, I got a question. Marcus, I got a
She's on
question.
Cobra's side.
Come on, Kelly. Come on, Kelly.
That's unusual. Marcus and Kelly don't usually on the same side. They're usually against each other.
She must not have heard what I had to say.
Oh wow! I don't like this.
Cookie, what's up, mate?
Marcus, I have a question for you. Marcus, this main event, this main event they're going to have, that could be anywhere in the state, well, 2 or 3 states in Midwest. Yes, for sure.
Well, I'm excited. We may have number 2. I can't see number 1 being beat with IK3 and the Cobra, but the Cobra might pick up the 2nd spot, taking on Nick Diamond. I mean, I've seen him in action many times too. So,
yeah, that should be awesome. Zay, do you know how many teams are in this tournament? Or
what's up, Damian DeVille?
Oh, we lost him.
I think it's 8. That's the way the bracket looks. I can give you these teams real quick.
Damn. Big Chip said, "Fuck you guys."
Kendall Fire, and one of the guys from BMFX is in it.
LaFaro.
You got Trauma Unit. You have Joey O'Reilly and Clayton Clark. Mike Noble and Thomas Keith. The hell put that in there? And now Nova and Zach Nova and Juan Sanchez, who have been fighting everybody everywhere, is on a team for this.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then you have David Light and Zay Gates, and that's the teams I have so far. He said Rico Jones and Christian Cash.
Oh, okay.
And there's a wild card. There's a wild card.
Yeah, there's 7 teams, and they said there's a wild card.
There's a wild card.
Yeah, there's a wild card in there. I don't know who this wild card is, but I hope this wild card don't think that they're gonna come across Big Champ and David Light like that. I mean, if y'all see our history, we are former WCWO tag team champions.
Within the last 2 weeks, you just lost those. So
notice how hard it was for me to say that. Like I was stuck because it just pains me to say that. But we're former WCWO tag team champions. But Reggie got one thing coming because we gonna get our rematch, and when we do, we gonna be 2-time WCWO tag team champions. So imagine you in there with future 2-time WCWO tag team champions in this tournament. Like I know they shaking in their boots right now.
Zay, my concern is this: as a fan of Cold Hard Cash as I am, how is the rest of the guys taking this? You teaming with David?
You know what?
You guys talked it out. I mean, is everything copacetic? You know.
Listen, all right. That's something that I'm gonna choose not to speak. That.
All right. I want to make sure everything's good in your guys' case, because, like I said,
we can't. Yeah,
you gotta be careful because Christian's kind of sensitive.
Just know. Never count out Cold Hard Cash. Okay, never count us out. Whether good, bad, or indifferent, whether we on good terms, bad terms, do not count us out.
Because you never know what Christian's on the rag. So I mean,
what's going to happen? What's going to happen if it comes down to the Cold Hard Cash against Cold Hard Cash?
Yes, that could happen.
I mean, listen, family fight, but the important thing is getting the gold with Cold Hard Cash. Getting the gold back to Cold Hard Cash. We need to get that gold back. So if that means we got to go to war with each other, who better to go to war with your family to get the success that you guys need? That only makes you stronger. It only makes you stronger. I mean, I'm pretty sure y'all have fought with family members before and hugged it right out as kids. Like, it happens. It happens.
And I hope that you know the AEW powers that be that seem to like to stick their nose in your guys' business by the name of Cecil Cabeza and Ms. Casey keep their nose out of your guys' business this time, because they seem to be pushing their weight around a little bit.
Thank you. Somebody who finally sees it from our point of view, like you see it from our side the entire time. It's literally Casey and Cecil every single time. If you look and see, I lost the No Limits Championship because Cecil and Casey thought it was a great idea to put me in a match against KJ. And then on top of that, they want to restart the match. Why would you restart the match? Like, I was against that. I was never with that. I got screwed over, and I've yet again been given my rematch for my No Limits Championship. Instead, they got me doing side quests and potentially have to fight with my family to get gold when they could just say, hey, Zay, you get your rematch for us costing you your No Limits Championship. And then it's easy money from here on out. So I'm glad finally somebody sees it from my point of view. You know what? You deserve a raise. You deserve a raise. Warren Misery is literally the ratings draw of GSR.
Cold Hard Cash is the jewel of AVW.
Zay,
yes.
Zay, I'm on your side. Zay, I'm on your side.
Warren is the ratings draw for GSR. That's him.
But let's be honest. I'm on your side, Zay, but let's be honest. You know that Christian Cash and Rico Jones would have no chance against you and David Lyon.
Listen, okay?
Let's be honest.
Christian
Cash. He's a wannabe Zay Gates.
Listen, and that's the thing. Everybody underestimates Christian. Christian is he's a
I'm
good
not estimated just right. He's a wannabe Christian. He's a wannabe Zay Gates.
Listen,
let's be honest.
Christian is very charismatic. I feel like in all reality, like a lot of people, like all honesty, a lot of people don't see like the things that me and like everybody else sees in Christian. I don't think a lot of people don't see it. Like Christian is like the way he is in the ring with the way he is with the fans and the way he is with the talent and everybody. That's Christian behind the scenes. Like that's literally Christian 25-8. So he automatically he can get that heat. All he has to do is just be him when he's around us backstage when the camera's not rolling. But the good thing is he's also a good person, and that also makes him good at the same time. Like Christian is very charismatic, and he's very good on the mic, and he's good in the ring too. Like there are some things there are some chinks in his armor, but hey, everybody has a weakness. But best believe that's what we doing here. We getting it together. And Rico Jones, man. Rico Jones, come on now. It's
gonna be hot, sir. It's gonna be hot.
Listen,
Sunday.
we cooking. Just let us. It's all part of the plan. Let us cook right now. It's all part of the plan.
Okay.
Y'all gonna see. Y'all gonna look back on this interview on 6/9/25. Y'all gonna be like, you know what? Zay was correct. Zay was onto something. That's why they brought me in Cold Hard Cash. Okay.
So everyone needs to be there Sunday. Keep an eye out on AVW, All Vermilion Wrestling's Facebook page for the status of where the show will be.
What's up, Damian DeVille? I didn't see the comments at first. I didn't get to see the comments and tell everybody what's up.
TJ Powers is in the house too.
Yeah, TJ Powers is here. Oh yeah. Hold on. Wes said Zay and Light suck. 2 times former WCW. You know what? I got something. You know what? Ask what happens when Big Zay feels like he's getting bullied. That's how David Light got here. No offense to David, because listen, it worked because now David is a top dog right now. Like, come on now.
You had to bring David in because the rest of Cold Hard Cash couldn't cut it.
It sounds like Tony's trying to stir the pot.
Yeah, see, Tony,
Tony's
and this
stirred
is
the
why
pot.
Tony's
Warren's
got a
not
mixer
number
out,
one
baby.
over you, because you're trying to stir the pot. But the thing is, it will never work. Okay, y'all want to know
Hey,
what's going on with
it
Cold
may-
Hard Cash? Tune in on Sunday.
It may not work with you, but it could work with Christian because it don't take much to get Christian going. I mean, all you got to do is put a top 5 list out and he's liable to snap. So,
Because listen, y'all
I
know that
mean,
Cold Hard
Bible.
Cash. Y'all know Cold Hard Cash is number one. Y'all know that. Y'all know that. Y'all know that.
hey, I'm looking at you guys. Hey, matter of fact, you are on my list for my top 5
Okay.
for last month.
Okay. Where we at? Where we at? Where we at?
Okay, I'll tell you. You ain't number 1.
Okay.
You ain't
Okay.
number 2, but you're number 3.
Okay. All right. All right. Cool.
But I think when I say who my 1 and 2 are, I think you would understand.
Who's 1 and 2?
Okay. Well, hell, I'm gonna get my
You
damn
gotta
list
stay
in.
tuned. You gotta stay tuned. to
You
the
gotta
show.
stay tuned in.
Oh, that's later in the
Yeah,
show.
you gotta stay tuned in. Yeah,
That's
you
later in
gotta
the
stay
show.
tuned in. you
Okay,
gotta
my
stay
bad. I'm
tuned in.
sorry. I'm making them give out spoilers. I'm gonna stay tuned. I'm sorry.
Okay, give us the times of the show again.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, doors 4:30, showtime 5:30,
Illinois time.
Illinois time. So it's reverse or 1 hour.
Hour later.
Illinois is ahead, ain't it? Is Illinois ahead or
They're back.
behind?
They're like
They're
they're
back.
fine.
Okay, cool. So the crazy thing is, in Mississippi, it's the same time as Illinois. That's why I don't know how it's not registered.
Okay. Well, hey, thanks for coming on the show. Appreciate it. Good luck in the tournament. I know Cold Hard Cash is going to do really well, especially you and David Light, because I know Joe Jones and Christian ain't got a chance with you guys in the tournament. So,
Yeah, man. Thank y'all for having me. I enjoy being on here anytime. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Big Champ out.
I'm gonna get a phone call later.
Christian Cash will call you. You got to have 2-hour times reserved for that.
What Christian dude deserve all the shots today?
He's not here to defend himself. We'll get him on here.
Yeah, we'll get it. He'll be on
He's
there.
having an excuse why he can't be on.
Okay, guys, we got a lot to get into. Marcus, the G.W.R. Independent Wrestling Report.
Okay, I've got a lot because we're going to cover everything that we've missed the last several weeks.
Okay.
So, all right, for first, we got the birthdays, and I hope I get this between me and Kelly, our list. We should be good here. We're going all the way back to May 31st, and I don't know if there's any more prior to that. If there is, I apologize. Johnny Blaze's birthday was on May 31st. J.H. Hogg's birthday was on June 1st. Travis Southern's was on June 2nd. Referee Alex Zander was on the 4th. My good buddy Rico Jones was on the 4th. Jacob Rose is on the 5th. Reggie Edwards was on the 5th. David Knights was on the 5th. And NGW's Jamie Crisis was on the 6th. And that brings us up to Kelly's list. Gary Emmets was on the 7th. Indiana wrestling legend Dr. Jerry Graham Jr. was on the 7th. Krispy Kreme's was on the 7th.
Boo.
Matt Diesel's was on the 8th. Ben Shepard, which is a former Cold X member. Ben Shepard was on the 8th. And now we're to today. Today's birthday, Myron Reed's is today. Dan Severance is today. Loki's is today. Cecil Cervezas is tomorrow. Referee Brandon Thomas is on the 11th. Troy Miller's on the 12th. And Chris Wildthane Williams is on the 15th. And that should have us covered up on that. We should be covered.
Marcus, can I ask you a question real quick? Have you heard anything on how Myron Reed is? I know he took a pretty bad bump here.
He was back in the ring this weekend, so he must be okay.
Really? Okay. I was wondering. I know that bump was pretty nasty looking.
Yeah, but he was back in the ring this weekend.
And he's still rocking with what's her name, and I think he wrote that off as just a freak moment. Nothing.
Yeah, and that's what it was. It was a freak moment. Poor timing. Okay, now we're going back for a lot of results.
Take a breath.
Yeah, I'll take a breath because I got a ton of them. WCWO Friday. Well, he put 323. That can't be right. I hope that ain't right. May 23rd, 2025. These are courtesy of Steve Butler. Zach Nova pinned IK3 in his match of the night. Kenneth James pinned Troy Valentine in a triple threat. Pogo was the third member, but Phoenix come out and beat him up, took him away. Jackson Morgan pinned Juan Sanchez. Elijah Arrows and Waterboy defeated Zay Gates and David Light. Well, I wish I'd seen that earlier. We would have brought that up. You lost to Elijah Arrows and Waterboy, and you think you're going to win the AVW tag team titles? Yeah. Jake Phoenix pinned Andre Stray. Mike Noble and Maliko defeated Brody Botkins and Mark Magnus. And then Kenneth James won the Battle Royal to become the number one contender for the Gunslinger title. Okay, now we were all, 5 of us, GWR members, was at AACW's Mayhem in May on Saturday, May 24th. Warren Misery made a surprise appearance. Of course, by the time he got there, we knew he was coming, but anyhow, it was a surprise appearance in Sharpsville, Indiana. Tate Manson defeated Kurt Busey and Camden Francis in a triple threat match. Jensen with Ajax defeated J.C. Black to retain the ladies title. Cruiser defeated Juice Warta. Okay, Bobo Brazil, Hobo Jones, and Hysterics defeated Tanner Kelly, Experiment X, and Jake Elliott with Shooting with Shane and Twisted Hoss. I think I got everybody in that one. Brody Buckets defeated Chip Ripley with Mortimer Blankenship III.
And
Christian Cash and Zay Gates defeated Bob Steele and Cody Lee to retain the tag titles. That was a pretty awesome show. So,
pretty good.
You guys want to weigh in on that since we were all there?
Yeah, I thought it was a good show. I love the Brody Botkins and Ripley match. The tag team match was great. It was a real solid show.
Yep, fun from beginning to end.
Yeah, it was a dang good show. Okay, then I was at WCWO's Victory Lane at the Outlaw Arena on Friday, May 30th. Zach Nova then defeated Kenneth James with David Lee to retain the Gunslinger title. Troy Valentine and Will Asher defeated Austin James and Max Sterling via submission. Juan Sanchez with TJ Powers defeated Brody Botkins via DQ. Jordan James defeated Dex Royal and Mark Magnus in a triple threat. In the stretcher match between Jackson Morgan and TJ Powers, it ended up in a no contest because both wrestlers knocked each other out. So the referee had to call it. Jake Phoenix with T.S. Wiley defeated the Waterboy. He retained the territorial title. And then after the match, Joey Owens came out and fired Wayne Silver because he was very biased. Very fast counts on Waterboy.
I agree with Kelly. I think the ring announcer at AACW is probably the best in the state.
I agree. And if you want to go, we've got a good new ring announcer for WCWO too. So she's in the house. Okay, where did I get up at? Okay, the highlight reel defeated Jake Oman and Elijah Arrows. Andre Stray and Timmy Jackson defeated Zay Gates and David Light to become the new tag team champions. And Logan Myers defeated Mike Noble and David Lee 2 out of 3 falls to retain the Outlaw title. Noble had the first fall and Logan had the last 2. Pretty good show. Okay, these are courtesy of Steve Butler, NVW Proving Ground, Mad Bash Wrestling, the Blue Album. Kenny Calix pinned Quest Parker. Stetson Wenders pinned Michael Camino. Clayton Clark retained the title by pinning Geronimo in an open challenge. Dalton Davis versus Devontae Knox ended in a no contest. Oliver Kane pinned Ken Riot. Limbo and Napier defeated Adam Black and the Goblin. And Colby Jack defeated Jason Levi to retain the Mad Bash title. All right, then me and Warren were at AVW's Summer Shock 2025, Sunday, June 1st. Kenneth James defeated Will Asher to retain the AVW No Limits title. Zach Nova defeated David Light and Zay Gates in a triple threat. Mike Noble defeated Tyler Scott. T.Y. Ice defeated B.A. Malkin, Chris Gates, Elijah Arrows, and Theo White to become the new AVW Key to the 210 champion. That was a ladder match. Jason Levi defeated Thomas Keith with John Downs. Rico Jones and Christian Cash defeated Miguel Murphy and Stetson Winters with Warren. to earn a wild card shot in the Double Down Tag Team Tournament. I think we just filled in the number 8.
No, there's 7.
So that's still 7. I don't remember bringing up Stetson and Miguel before.
They're not there. They lost. They're not in it.
Oh, that's right. And we'll get into that here in a minute.
Yeah.
And the Cobra defeated Limbo and Jackson Morgan in what I thought was the match of the night to retain the ABW heavyweight title. Go ahead, Warren. Tell them how you had the low blow. You know how I hate low blows, and I'll be damned old Ward. I had to throw a low blow in there. Yes, and Abby was back on Friday.
Stetson?
Good to have her back, too.
Yeah, Stetson refused to listen to me. So I headed up there. Well, then they decided to take stuff in their own hands, and I got Superman punched and whatever their finisher's called and knocked into next week. But like I said, I'm done with them. I tore their contract up, but there's a bounty out on their heads in ABW. So that's why I'm not going to be ringside, but I'll probably sit next to you and Kelly at the show this Sunday then, front row. So,
well, tell us
You
what
bringing
happened.
you bringing your lawyer with you?
what's that?
So you bringing your lawyer with you? Sounds
No,
like
no.
you get a lawsuit since they attacked you.
No, my lawyers wanted me to sue, but I'm not like that, so I just tore up their contract. So
Yeah, you had your ass handed to you.
I'm not a wrestler.
So are you on your revenge tour now?
I've got talent lined up out the wazoo that want me to be ringside with them. So I'm going to be scouting Sunday, sitting ringside, watching some of this talent and see who I want to bring in. So
Let me
front
ask
row
you,
right there.
if you was going to pick a tag team, which tag team would you pick? Zay Gates, Zay Gates' team, or Christian Castle's team? Which, as a manager, which team do you think would be better?
Well, they obviously don't need me, but if there's a gun to my head and I would have to choose, I would probably have to go with Gates and Light just because of where they've been and what they do. But it's really neck and neck between them. So
Okay, kiss an ass a little bit. All right.
at least I'm not stirring the pot like you were. So
Me stir the pot.
no, never, Tony. You never stir the pot. You never try to get things going.
All right, are we done? Are you done? Are you done?
Yeah, I think so.
Are you done, Warren?
Hey, you passed the mic to me and wanted me to give my
That's
take
what I
on
said.
it.
Are you done? Had I take the mic back? Are you
Well,
done?
you know, I did see a promo with Warren. He had like kind of a sore jaw.
It hurt. It hurt for a few days.
Yeah, they walloped him pretty hard.
Hat went flying and everything. The whole crowd got to see my crazy hair and.
Was the crowd sympathetic to your plight, or
I don't care about the crowd. I could have cared if they were or they weren't. They're a bunch of morons. They do whatever.
That answered my question.
I could care less what the crowd thought about me. I'm done, Marcus. Head back in.
Okay. Keller and I was at the Outlaw Arena on Friday. Gabby Abbey is back. Glad to have her back. Interesting that they did 3 non-title matches before intermission, but here we go. WCWO Gunslinger Champion Zach Nova defeated Will Asher, non-title. WCWO Tag Champions Andre Stray and Timmy Jackson defeated Juan Sanchez and TJ Powers in a non-title. The Outlaw Champion Logan Myers defeated Kenneth James with David Lee in a non-title. Then we had David Light and Zay Gates with Billy Palmer. They defeated Jackson Morgan and Mark Magnus. Cousin Cooter defeated Russian Number Who Knows with Russian Number Who Knows. That's how they were introduced. By a DQ, and one of the Russians low blow Cooter, and then he revealed he was Reggie Edwards. So Reggie Edwards played Russian Number Who Knows over the weekend. So Waterboy defeated Troy Valentine and Max Sterling triple threat, and Mike Noble with David Lee defeated Elijah Arrows. That was my match of the night. Yeah. And I got one more set. Battle of the Border, Legends and All-Stars 9 from Milan, VFW, Milan, Indiana. This is courtesy of Steve Butler, and I don't know hardly anybody on this list. Sergeant Ledbetter pinned Bad Country Williams. Lucy B. Sweet pinned Stephanie Mack. Paxton Calloway pinned Aaron Gunn. TJ Fury pinned Misery. Benjamin Camara pinned Derek Walls. The King Militia defeated Paris McQueen and Madison Payne in a double countout. And Jeff King retained the BOTB Hardcore title by defeating Ethan Evans via referee stoppage in a barbed wire massacre match. And there you have it.
Is that down south?
Yeah, it was actually at Milan, Indiana.
Yeah,
Well, they
he
had
took,
it.
he took a picture of the water tower. It's a big basketball now because of the Hoosiers and everything.
Yeah.
They painted it
The only
like
name
that.
I recognized was Paris McQueen. That's the only name I recognized.
Yeah. Now, Cooter's boy refereed that match, so
Okay,
Cooter's boy has been refereeing at the Dub as well. Doing pretty good.
that's awesome.
I think he's under the tutelage of Tommy Two Shoes.
Okay, that sounds
Can't get
good.
any better than that.
Yeah.
That's true.
So there we have
How
it.
did he be under the tutelage of your buddy Luigi?
Yeah. Cody. Ref Cody.
You compare Luigi and Cody? Are you?
Anymore about to, yes. Luigi doesn't know what to look. You're supposed to look in the ring. Remember Comic Con?
Yep.
He's more worried
That's
about
true.
the outside than he was the inside. But
I got to watch what I say about Cody. I might get in trouble again.
Well, yeah. I've seen him get confronted before. That's true.
Sean Kimball, Spider Murphy.
Well,
What's up, brother?
Is that it, Marcus?
I believe so.
Okay, we got our top fives for the month of May. A little bit later than normal because we was off for a couple weeks. Warren, you want to go first?
Why not? Might as well start with the best, right?
That's right.
There we go. Thank you. Once again, I always preface mine with it's all based on the matches I've seen with my own two eyes. I know there's tons of great talent out there. This is what I've seen. So I don't, when they don't come harping at me that I didn't put them on there. I didn't see you. So I mean, maybe a little bit of a shocker. I don't know where you guys have these, but my number 5 is a tag team, Cody Lee and Bob Steele. First time I'd seen them go at it, and I was really impressed. But that also follows into my number 4, the AACW tag team champs of Zay Gates and Christian Cash. They beat number 5, so you got to give the credit. And like I also said, you win belts during the month, you get on my list. Number 3, Kenneth James, No Limits champ, AVW. Got to put him on there. Number 2 is going to be Zach Nova because I see him everywhere I'm at, and everywhere I'm at, he's always putting on a show. And then my number 1, win a belt, the Cobra. AVW's a heavyweight champion. So that is my top 5 for May, and we'll see where we're at with June.
Okay. Marcus?
All right, I got some honorable mentions to start with. First, want to do a shout out to AJ Bradley, Sam Mitchell, and T.S. Wiley for very successful benefit shows. The month of May was full of benefit shows, and they all had successful benefit shows. So shout out to those guys. Okay, Wayne Silver. I told you I got a big announcement about Wayne Silver. Wayne Silver is no longer a referee in the state of Indiana. He is now going to work for the Little Mania Midget Wrestling Company and is going on tour with them. In fact, he's on tour with them now. Now, that's not the Micros. That's another midget company, and they hired him as one of their main refs, and he is on the road with the Little Mania Midget Wrestling Company. So congratulations to Wayne Silver. He was down in Louisville and somewhere in Tennessee, I think, from what I see. So congratulations to him. Okay, top 5. Number 5, Mark Magnus, who went toe-to-toe with Jordan James, Dex Royal, and Vinny Fischetti in the month of May and held his own rather well. Shout out to him. Number 4, Jordan James and Kenneth James for winning the DCCW Tag Team title. See, we're going way back, but that was in May. It was May 3rd. So even though it seems like it was 400 years ago, that was Audrey Stray and Timmy Jackson for winning the WCWO Tag Team titles. Hank Calhoun for winning the DCCW Heavyweight title. And I don't know who's all in here. I knew Caitlin was in here. Shout out. Number 1, Juan Sanchez, Zach Nova, Alex Zander, and Caitlin rookies to main eventers in less than 11 months. These are the men and lady that we're coming up on a year this weekend that they made their debuts and they made events. They were in a main event. She ring announced Alexander Reft and Zach and Juan put on a hell of a main event. Shout out to those guys and lady. I don't know if you guys know, I pissed off somebody up north who now I'm no longer a part of that company in any way, shape, or form. I'm probably not allowed to come back in the door, and I don't give a damn. So it is what it is. We all also want to do a shout out to Juan Sanchez, who had a spot at Major League Wrestling in a match with, who is it, Tony?
What now?
It was Contra and the Filthy Bros.
Yeah.
Riddle.
Matt Riddle. He did a run in. He got thumped in the ring of a Major League Wrestling ring. And we want to shout out to Juan Sanchez as well. So there you go, up north. So I know you'll never see this because I'm blocked from you now, but it's been a year.
Somebody
I'm done.
Somebody will tell him.
I'm sure somebody will see it, and they'll let him know.
Yep.
Yes, those,
I got my top five.
kids, and I say kids because I got 30 years on all of them.
Yep.
You guys are doing awesome. Just keep it up. I would love to see what the next year is going to bring for you guys and lady.
Did Marcus do something else to piss him off?
He just
I did.
Marcus.
I got blocked.
Yeah, he got blocked here recently. Okay, guys, I'll do my top
I'll
five.
get with you, Chris, when we're done. When we get done, I'll fill you in.
Okay, my number 5, New War Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champions, Agents of Chaos. Number 4, the DCCW New Tag Champs, the James Gang. Number 3, ACW Tag Champs, Cold Hard Cash. My number 2 is Hank Calhoun, the DCCW Heavyweight Champion. That come out of nowhere. Big victory in a fatal 4-way, man. That was outstanding. It really comes out of nowhere when he was even shocked. So that was outstanding. But my number 1,
who he's in the ring with.
Yes,
I know he's in there with Mitchell Taylor, but I don't remember the other two. But
it was pretty good names. I'll be honest with you, I don't remember right offhand right now. I don't have it written down in front of me. My number 1, a guy who's been wrestled all 3 of these shows and was victorious. He's also the U.S. champ at DCCW, Brody Botkins. He's on fire right now, man. Everywhere he goes, he may be having some big things in the work also. So Brody was my number 1. Chris?
All right. I had number 5. I had Chet Ripley and Mortimer Blankenship. I've seen Chet before, but I was real impressed with. As my first time getting to see Mortimer live. I was impressed with them guys there in Kokomo. Chet put on a hell of a show with Brody in that match. Number 4, I got Elijah Arrows. I saw him I think every show I was at last month.
Yep.
Because the Bearcat Rumble we took on Mimic, which was real good.
Yep.
And then we saw him at AAC. Was it AACW?
Yep.
And he was at Warrior Pro too, wasn't he?
Yeah,
So I did see him at all 3 shows I was at last month.
Yeah.
And then number 3, I got Jared Kripke. Number 2, I had Brody Botkins, which he could have very easily been number 1. But at number 1, I put Hank Calhoun because of the big win he got there at the Bearcat Rumble. But Brody could have very easily been number 1 as well because, like you said, we've seen Brody at every show we were at, and he's been on a tear. So
he's been one of the highlights at every show. I mean, he really has been. So all 3 of those shows, he was one of the highlights.
I thought him and Chet Ripley put on a hell of a match there AACW last month. So.
He had a really good match at DCCW against the Waterboy, and then he had the best thing that was on the show at Warrior Pro, that promo. So I mean, he's really been hot, man. Doing an outstanding job. Well, guys, if we don't have anything else, we'll bring our special guest in. Rapid fire.
I want to hit up, since I'm not on Thursdays, there was a little sidebar thing, and my apologies to Reggie. So the whole, and I just wanted a little take, just in general idea of how people feel. They had Worlds Collide this past weekend, and one of the matches involved a guy by the name of Mr. Iguana. Have you seen this yet?
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, we have.
Okay. Now, I'm not saying everyone in the internet wrestling community is like this, but if that guy was on AEW, they would just be blasting Tony and AEW for putting on comic-y stuff like this. I mean, yeah, it's goofy and it is, but oh, WWE, look at all this fun stuff there. No, if it was on the other shoes on the other foot of AEW, they'd be blasting it as being just stupidity that Tony Khan can't bring anyone in, yada yada yada. And then so I just wanted to put that out there, get some people's thoughts on that. I'm not saying everyone's like that. I'm not saying everyone on Michael, but that's just one of those like little things that, like the quote Family Guy, grinds my gears about some people in the internet wrestling community. That if it's completely other promotion, it'd be a completely different story, and that irritates me.
You're not wrong. There would be people that would do that, Warren. You're right.
Yeah.
I don't. Well, just like El Valquino, a lot of people. There's people that thought that match he did was great, but some people didn't like the stuff he did in AEW. Now, I do think he slowed down some in this match with Gable, and I enjoyed it, but he's still very entertaining.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah.
AEW too. But
and I'm not going to knock him as a wrestler because he's on WWE. I like, and I try to stay even keeled with wrestlers that they go from one to the other. Because I'll admit, yes, Stephanie Vacour is doing great in WWE, even though I hated the way she left AEW. But I'm not going to deny the fact that she's killing it. With the exception, I'm getting a little sick of seeing her little freaking butt bounce thing all the time. It's starting to get up there.
Yeah, I know they're going crazy for it. Now on the AEW thing, on Stephanie, I disagree with because she was never signed with AEW. That's their fault.
No.
They brought her in for a match. They should have had her sign. I mean, that's just my opinion on that.
Yeah.
I mean, but I understand. I mean, she's outstanding talent.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mr. Iguana, I want a shirt. It just cracked me up, man. It was it was outstanding.
I mean, I am glad.
I was actually leaving it. I said, "What in the hell?"
I'm glad that WWE and like a lot of the mainstream people are starting to at least now get a chance to see a lot of this Mexican wrestling, a lot of this AAA, and then with AEW doing stuff with CMLL, a chance to see, because it is a completely different. It's absolutely completely different, and it's cool that at least it's getting noticed now. And a lot of these guys that have worked so hard and put so much into their lives are now getting a chance to be in a bigger spotlight and in a bigger. So I do think that's really super cool. So, and I guess since Cincinnati just hit a home run.
Base hit. We're up 2-0. We're up 2-0.
Anyways, yeah, let's get Reggie on. Let's get him out. Let's get him out.
Kelly's top 5. Can we hit it real quick?
Kelly's top 5. How did we forget Kelly's top 5?
All right, Shad at number 5. The
We're talking about AEW.
Shad, the Hoosier Hot Boy, Kurt Busse, since he beat Zay Gates at number 5. Elijah Arrows at 4. Hey Calhoun at 3, Brody Balkins at 2, and DeCobra at number 1. So that's a pretty good top 5 as well.
I agree.
Still haven't seen the Cobra yet.
No, we will soon.
Yeah, you need to. That guy is wonderful.
He wasn't there the time we were there.
I had my talk with Casey about that too. So, not that I had a problem with the replacement, but what I've expected DeCobra, and that's not who I got. So. All right.
Okay. We ready?
Yep, let's do it.
Hey, how's it going, Reggie?
What's going on, guys? Can you hear me? Are we
Yep.
good?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we're good.
What's up? Thanks for having me on.
Hey, yeah, great to see you. Hope things are going well for you. You just had a birthday not too long ago, didn't you?
I did last week, and let me tell you, one hell of a late birthday present to be sharing the airwaves with Mr. Warren Misery. Warren, you finally have some balance on the show, my friend.
Thank you. By the time I get some more level thinking individuals like me on here.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm here.
I forgot to wear my boots.
Listen, pot stirrer.
Yeah.
Hey. I would never stir the pot. Okay, guys.
What's up, guys?
I would. I have.
You have? What do you mean you would?
I just did. So
Yeah, the guy would just give a 5-minute speech on a company up north. Yeah. Okay. We'll get things started with our rapid fire. Marcus will go first, Warren second, I'll go third, and Chris will go fourth.
Let's do it.
The list of companies that we'll never work for is just getting bigger and bigger.
That's true.
And bigger.
Yeah, we just got a new one here recently.
Before we get started, Reggie, you want to cover Frankfurt coming to town on Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday, June 14th, guys. We've got the Father's Day Bash up in Frankfurt. It's going to be at the Edward Jones 4-H Community Building. General admission is $12. The front 2 rows are $15. The doors are going to open at 6. Bell time is at 7. Matches to be announced, obviously. We haven't put those out yet, but you're going to have Phoenix, probably one of the greatest territorial champions we've ever had. Phoenix will be in action. Zach Nova, Jackson Morgan, Brody Bodkins, Andre Spray, Too Loud Timmy Jackson, our tag team champions, and plenty more. We haven't been to Frankfurt in a minute. This might be the first time we've been there, but it's the first time in a while. Second time?
Well, you was there 2 months ago.
Oh, that's right. I wasn't at that show. So
it was a good time, yeah.
This may be my first time at Frankfurt, so they're welcome for that.
It was just to let you know, if it is your first time, eat before you come to town, or you may have a hard time finding it.
Of that, yes. But from what I heard, the crowd was insane. It was a packed house. A lot of people came out. We're really excited to be coming back to Frankfurt just because of the amount of support we had there the first time we were there. So we're looking forward to a fun time. And what better way to bring in Father's Day than with a champion like Phoenix, than Brody Bodkins and Pogo and Jackson Morgan and all these guys that are coming up. It's going to be a great show. We can't wait. We wish it was now.
It should be a great show. I know the last one was. We was at the last one, so
yeah,
should be good. Well, Marcus, you ready?
Yeah, go ahead, Chris. Get Kelly's out of there.
Did you say we're going to get Kelly out of here?
No, you got to answer Kelly's question. Standard question.
Kelly's question is, who's your favorite super fan, Kelly or Marcus?
Warren.
Well, that's not the first time, because Bob Steele didn't name either one of us either. So
if I had to pick, if I have to pick between the two, Marcus has always been nicer to me, but Kelly is a lot scarier. So can we go with the tie? I don't want to divide the house.
Yeah, we've had some ties.
Can we go with the tie? I don't want to cause a rift in the household, and they'll both be there on a Friday coming up. She's already threatened me a few times.
Yeah, she controls the house. So
yeah.
I think one thing you got to look at, I think if she loses, Marcus may get a shot with a cane. So you might want to pick Marcus, and he might get a hit with a cane.
If we're going based off of how great they are at fishing, I'm going with Kelly.
Well, yeah, you have to, because I ain't a fisher, but I'm just the guy that goes out there.
I'll go with both.
Okay.
Here we go. Now this is going to be a little different because you don't fall in the referee, wrestler, manager. Well, you kind of are.
I fall in like every role except wrestler. We're not going to call those.
That's true.
Matches.
We're going to talk about that.
We're not going to call those matches.
When did you become interested in professional wrestling?
I became a fan. It was like 96. Hey, Kelly, that's me. I became a fan like in 96, 97. I grew up in a Christian household. I wasn't allowed to watch the WWF, so I grew up a WCW kid. So I grew up watching the NWO, Sting, DDP. So I'm probably 10 or 11 years old is when I became a fan of wrestling.
And now you can pull him back in. There you go.
Chris, good job.
I was working on it.
Yeah, but
damn, Chris.
That was too close.
No one wants to see me that close to the screen, man.
That's true. Okay, Warren.
All right. I'm going to give you a time machine and a front and center ticket to any wrestling event in the history of time. Where would you want to go?
Oh, man. I only have to pick one?
Yeah, do two.
Okay. I would have loved to be at One Night Stand when Cena fought RVD for one. That would have been just that crowd and that atmosphere would be awesome. Money in the Bank 2011, Cena and Punk would be a great atmosphere. Starrcade 97, Hogan and Sting, up until the finish. That match would have just be to be able to be at any WCW or WWF show anywhere from like 97, 98 up to like 2001. I feel like would just be a really fun just atmosphere and energy to be at. Then probably when the night the WWF bought WCW to be either in Cleveland or Panama City Beach, see that take place in person, those would probably be my top choices.
Biggest challenge in being a booker?
Scheduling. Scheduling. Figuring out who's available 52 times a year, every week. Just coordinating who is available going into Friday, and then calling a good audible and pivot when somebody is sick or not able to make it. When you get to Friday and get to the day of the show, those are the hardest parts. And then honestly, just coming up with new, fresh matches every single week that you think or know are going to be good, that people are going to want to pay to come and see. Those are the hardest parts about it.
Hey, Chris?
Yeah.
How did you get involved with WCWO?
You can blame Brian Clark, Cranville, for that one. That's all his fault, guys. So a lot of people don't know this. But
that's another reason for me not to like Clark or Brian.
He's also the reason that Juan and myself and Zay have gotten opportunities at MLW too. So we can thank him for getting us away from everyone's. But no, man, a lot of people don't know this, but outside of the dub, I photograph and cover sports and concerts regularly. I ran into Brian Clark at a Warp Tour shooting that, and we just started talking about wrestling. And then I ran into him at Wiz Khalifa. Then, oddly enough, I ran into him at a Hanson concert that we were shooting. And I was the most excited one to be shooting Hanson at that show, by the way. So excited. But I ended up
I get to see it.
That's right. I ended up coming on board daily through him and a couple other people, and started writing with him to IU and Purdue games. And when the pandemic hit, when the dub opened back up, he messaged me and said, "Hey, I'm going to be going to work back at this wrestling promotion if you want to come and shoot ringside." And I didn't have anything else going in 2020, as you can probably imagine. So I went out and shot the show, and next thing I know, I'm backstage with Joey and Brian, and he's like, "Hey, this is my buddy that interviews all those bands." And Joey's like, "Want to do some interviews?" I'm like, "Yep." And now here we are. 5 years later, I'm doing a lot more than just interviewing the wrestlers and taking pictures ringside at the shows. I'm doing a lot more now. But that's the short version of how I got involved with WCWO and wrestling.
Okay, Marcus?
All right. We're going to keep you in the backstage area. I know of one incident. I'm sure there might have been more. I'm not going to bring up any names. How challenging was it to have a storyline change at the last minute when your talent walked out and gave you the title back? Now you know who I'm talking about, but I'm not going to.
I knew who it was right away.
Have you had that happen?
I ain't going to say no name.
Not as hard as you might.
Well,
not
you
as hard
guys
as you
covered it really well, but
luckily we were going into a triple threat match, so we had options of what to do in that moment. That wasn't. I got handed to another wrestler backstage. I'll hand it to everything to Jordan James and Joey for handling that situation and calling that audible. It was literally it wasn't long before the match started, before the bell. So we had to call a quick audible, and we got with the other guys that were in the match and just said, "Hey, here's the situation. Here's what we need to do." They went out and executed it the best that they could. It was more stressful, kind of rebooking the next couple weeks and figuring out how to do a pivot with somebody that we knew those guys were going to be around, but they weren't in that picture going forward. So just figuring out how to just change creative on the fly. That night wasn't stressful because we didn't have time to be stressed out. We just had to roll with it and do the best we could and do something we thought the crowd was going to be into. And luckily the crowd you guys were into it and liked it, and that made it easier going forward. So not as hard as you think, but it was stressful, but it was what it was.
Okay, Warren?
All right, a clean slate storyline wise, current rosters. Which one would you rather book? NXT, Raw, or SmackDown?
Probably NXT. They're hungrier. They're younger. They're hungrier. They're a lot more, probably more more open to trying new things. So there's a lot of things that they probably haven't done yet. Ron SmackDown, you got guys like Punk and Orton and Cena, and a lot of veterans who are probably a little bit more, not Cena, but a little bit more stubborn in what they do and what their character is. And so I feel like NXT would be easier to book, and I would have a lot more fun because that crowd is one of a kind. Yeah, probably that one.
Favorite storyline you've seen at the Dub?
Oh, there's been some good ones, guys. The Blake Wright and Jordan James was a hell of a story that we told back in 20 to 21. That one was that was electric. That was a lot of fun. I would kill myself if I didn't mention Jackson Morgan in Phoenix from a couple years ago. I think that was just a year ago. That storyline was a lot of fun. Timmy Jackson in Phoenix with the Oliver storyline, the Cat storyline. I mean, that was just a load of fun to do. Then a lot of the stuff from Juwan Thomas's Outlaw title run was a lot of fun to book because he had a lot of opponents that were really, really good. And it was hard to believe that was almost a 10-month title run as well, which is the longest one I've seen at the Dub since I've been there. And the crowd he had heat the entire time, including the time that Jackson Morgan chloroformed M2P, Zay Gates, and the other guy that was in that group and buried them alive in a cemetery, and then they came back to help. It was just a fun story. Those would be probably the top ones. And then anything we've done with Joey, the one where him and Blake fought for control of the company and then Blake won, then Joey got control back at the end. Like that one was a lot of fun to book. It's always the best when every party involved has no ego and is just willing to just do whatever they need to do to get the story over. So there's been some that didn't work out so well. Those are the ones that were the most fun to be a part of and watch.
Okay, Chris.
You'd mentioned shooting photography at the concerts and stuff. What's some of the maybe your favorite concerts that you've got to shoot?
Oh man, Pink is always awesome. Her show is like Cirque du Soleil meets music. That one's fun. People are going to be surprised by some of these answers. I didn't shoot it, but they gave me tickets. Lady Gaga is one of the best shows I've ever seen. Absolutely amazing. But if we're talking heavy metal and hard rock, which is my world, Skillet is top 5 always, especially when they bring all the pyro. See here, Shinedown is amazing. Slipknot's always good. Billy Joel was just a fun concert to shoot and be at. That one was fun. Those would be some of my favorite ones that off the top of my head that I've done. Then you've got your bands that you just love. They're not like anything special live, but like Korn is always good live. Five Finger Death Punch. Stuff like that is always fun to shoot. You know, Rob Zombie. Yeah,
that's a crazy show. I've been wanting to hear shows as well.
Slipknot was the craziest one. Shooting Slipknot, walking into the photo pit, like pyro and explosions and like concussions and grenades. It literally, as you're walking in, it felt like you were going into a war zone. Well, it's because it's just you can't really put it into words what that feeling's like, but that one's up there. I had to leave the show because it was just too much. So, yeah, yeah.
Marcus?
All right. We have our good buddy Abigail Moore in here.
Oh, gee.
Sorry.
Why? Why?
Miss Abby. Sorry.
No, she was trespassing Friday, right? You know this. She trespassed Friday. Like,
well, okay, so she trespassed, and you let her walk all the way up to the top of the stage with a crutch? You guys are terrible. Your security's terrible.
Oh, blame Timmy Jackson. He was supposed to tell me if she showed up.
Well, we know how that went. Tell us what it's like to be co-GMing with Miss Gabby Abby.
It's a freaking nightmare, man.
I believe she's going to be at Frankfurt on Saturday as well. So go ahead, run your mouth.
God, it's an adventure. I remember when it was. The idea was brought to me. I was like, this could be a lot of fun to do. And then she proceeded to go the exact opposite of me in every possible direction. She inserted her. She made herself a special ref in my match with JKO. Then she just up and disappeared for no reason. I'm gone for a few weeks, and she becomes co-GM. I had no say in that. It's been an adventure. I'll just call it that.
Got one from Kelly.
Kelly wants to know who's your favorite person you've interviewed?
Wrestling, sports, or music?
Do all of them.
Wrestling, Triple H and John Cena. And Jericho. Chris, he's up there. I had Matt Hardy before he was broken, so it was just Matt Hardy. But wrestling, those would probably be the top ones. Penta at the Royal Rumble stuff. Wrestling, those are the first ones that come to mind for me. Music, I had Steven Adler from Gonzo'S once. I've had members of Korn. Let's see, those would be the two, probably the G.W.R is probably the biggest one I've had when it comes to music. As far as favorites, though, John from Skillet is definitely my favorite one to always interview, mainly because that's the band that really kind of saved my life in a lot of ways back in the day. So being able to, anytime to be able to sit down with somebody that made an impact like that. I'm also an old school 80s hair metal guy, so Stryper is up there for bands that I've interviewed. Huge Stryper fan. Yeah, they're up there. So, and then as far as sports, I haven't done a lot of interviews, but I've been at a ton of press conferences. Obviously, Caitlin Clark is the first one that comes to mind for that. Probably her would be my favorite one, because being from Iowa, having her here, that's a huge deal for me to be able to talk to her at any game that comes up. But as far as wrestlers locally, I mean, TJ Powers was a great interview. Mike Noble, great interview. Obviously, I've done a lot of on-camera interviews with guys. Jordan James is great. Kenneth James, Zay Gates, David Light. God, who else is? It's just a lot of great guys, especially Jordan James. He's just a great guy.
Yeah, I liked your Mortimer Blankenship one.
Yeah, that one was a lot of fun. Yeah. Mortimer was fun. The MLW ones I did were fun just because it was a little bit bigger stage. Ricardo Rodriguez was a blast. Mick Foley, yes, and Mick Foley, that was a fun one. So, and then David Barnabas was a fun one. He's an interesting guy. He's fun.
Okay, Warren.
I think it's Marcus.
Oh, Marcus turn?
Look at me.
I thought Marcus went.
I did.
Okay. Go ahead, Marcus.
I choose Warren.
Okay. Well, we'll keep along the lines of interviews. What is it like to sit into a WWE press conference? And I must say that I did like the question you posed about the player at the War Games.
Oh yeah, yeah. When I talked to Cody, yes.
Well, Chris, you told me to go. I took it.
That was guys like Triple H and Cody are always fun because they're such historians of wrestling. So you can ask them more than just how was the show, how was it? You can ask them stuff like that question I asked, which was, how was it having a Flair and a Rhodes in a War Games match on the same night, which was a blast. Those press conferences they're interesting because when they sit down, when the wrestler comes in and sits down, you basically just raise your hand if you want to get a question, and then you just have to hope to God they hand you the microphone. And there's just rapid fire. You've seen them on
Yep.
Peacock. It's very quick, but when you're handed that microphone, which they always go out of their way to give me the microphone at every press conference, I always get at least one or two questions in, which is weird. At the Rumble one, Chuck, the PR guy, was texting me. He's like, "Who do you want?" Well, he pulled me off to the side during the main event. He's like, "Who do you want in the press conference?" I'm like, "Who do you have?" He said, "I don't know." I said, "Then I don't know either. He's like, "Well, probably one of these two guys is going to win." Then Jay, he's like, "Well, Jay's going to be in it." I was like, "Let's just see who's there." And then during, he's like, "I can get you." He's texting me. He's like, "I can get you a Triple H question." I'm like, "Okay, not going to say no to that." And so you sit there and hold your hand up and hope you get a question. And then when you get the question, you're on live national TV. So you got to hope to God that one, it's a good question. And because you've seen a couple of bad ones, I'm not going to ask them their Waffle House order or their IHOP order. I was sitting next to the guy that asked Io Sky the Taylor Swift question at Fastlane. I was sitting next to Timmy Jackson, and I were both at the Yeet press conference that Cody and Jay did, which was weird. But it's rapid fire, quick, fast. As soon as you're handed the mic, be ready to ask that question, and don't count on getting a follow up. But those things are interesting, you know. Yeah.
Okay, Warren.
All right, we did the TV part. Now let's go to the big four. Which one do you want to book? A Rumble, a One Night Mania, a One Night SummerSlam, or an original Survivor Series with all the Survivor Series matches?
So not the War Games, the 5-on-5 elimination tag.
That's the way it ought to be.
Ooh. A Rumble would be fun, depending on who the roster is and who's in it, because of all of the fun spots you can do in it. But I feel like in a 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series match, the amount of stories you could tell inside that match could be a lot of fun and probably game-changing as well. Mania would be way too stressful, trying to fit everybody on that show in one night. I don't want anything to do with that. Try to fit everybody into one night, man. And SummerSlam is SummerSlam, but like the stories that you can tell and intertwine into a Rumble and a Survivor Series match, I think would be a lot of fun to try to book.
I miss the original Survivor Series so much.
I do too.
Yeah. You know what? I was just in one of those style matches, and maybe we just go with the Rumble match on this one. It brings back some bad memories of me getting hit in the back with a chair twice. So, yeah, we'll go with the Rumble.
Favorite match you've seen at the Dub?
Ooh. Zay Gates and Cameron Saturn had one hell of a match last year in one of Saturn's first matches there. That was awesome. Logan and Noble had a really, really solid match last month at one of our shows. Zay and Saturn's ladder match last year at Victory Lane was great. The story we were able to tell with Jordan James and Blake Wright was that payoff match where Blake won the belt was a great match with a great story and a great crowd reaction. Let's see. Any of the matches that Elgin or Jake Ullman have been in at the Dub have always been good. And I want to say IK3. I'm just going to call him by his name, Jonathan Wolf. Let's just call him Jonathan Wolf, just because fuck all the haters. Jonathan Wolf has had some amazing matches at the Dub, and the first match I ever saw him wrestle was at Harvest Havoc at DCCW against Corey Storm. That was one of the best matches I've ever seen in person on any level. We're talking WWE, AEW, or the Indies, hands down. One of the best matches I've ever seen in person was that match. So I'm going to go with those.
Okay.
Again, Jonathan Wolf, everybody.
Yeah.
We're going with
Jonathan
that.
Wolf, everybody.
I wonder how many times I've gotten deleted or blocked by now.
Trust me. We can talk stories.
Those, man. Those matches are good wrestlers are good wrestlers.
Since we started doing this, he's the best I've seen at any of the shows that we went to. There's no disrespect to anybody. It's just he is.
Yep, and I'm glad to see him continue to get opportunities at more than just the Dub now. Other promotions are booking him as they should have been a long time ago, and it's good to see a dude who didn't do anything wrong get his opportunities again. We'll just say that.
Kelly's got a question, Chris.
Oh, I can't wait for this.
Oh no, it's good. It kind of blends in on it. It takes one of mine.
So what is it like for you at the Dub when everyone is saying you suck?
I mean, you do have heat. I love it. I love your heat.
For one, I wish more heels were less afraid to go out and get real heat. We have too many heels, not just in general, not in any one specific place. We have too many heels that are afraid to go out and get legitimate nuclear heat. And that's what makes a heel a great heel. I'll say that. And the other thing I'll say is when that place is packed to the rims and there's 100, 150, 200 people chanting that at you when you come out, it's an adrenaline rush that you've never felt before. You almost, especially when you're in the ring, you almost don't feel a lot of stuff until you get out because the adrenaline is so insane, which is why they always tell wrestlers slow down because it's so easy to go fast out there. But when that place is full or when it's just loud and they're chanting that, it's the best feeling in the world. I love it. I wish they'd do it more. And I'll make sure they do.
Chris?
You brought up the Rumble. We went to the Rumble and got to watching stuff, but what was your experience with the Rumble being in Indianapolis? I know you got to cover it and shoot it and stuff. What was that experience?
I enjoyed the events leading up to it a lot more than the event itself, which is a weird answer, but the events leading up to it, the city did such a good job promoting the Rumble, setting up the city and making it feel huge. You know, so I go to a Triple H at the press conference. This felt just as big, or not, if not bigger, than the Super Bowl being here in 2012. It had the same feel and atmosphere, and it felt unique. And the city did such a great job. There was events everywhere, signings all over the city. There was private events that people didn't know about. I was at the Boys and Girls Club somewhere over by the Dub. They did a private event where Big E and Chelsea Green and Legado del Fantasma and a couple other wrestlers unveiled a new fitness center that they had funded for the Boys and Girls Club. So stuff like that. The events leading up were amazing. Now, the event itself was awesome, but the press box is up above section 600. So I watched the Rumble on TV at the Rumble.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys got to see it, but I had to watch it again the next day because I didn't see it, even though we were there. That's the one thing people don't get about media stuff is you don't always get the type of freedoms and luxury that people think you get. Right, it was free, so that was great. We watched it on a monitor, just like we did CM Punk's return in 23.
Okay.
So, but I loved the week was amazing. The Superstore was really well priced. Both sides did a killer job. Yeah.
Just to kind of add on to that real quick, what was your experience with the big WCWO show the night before?
Dude.
What was it? Thunderstorm. I'm trying to think of the name of the show.
Oh, dude. That was such a long day. Well, it was a long week, but it was a really long day for all of us because you guys saw the event itself. Me and Joey and Brian, Wes, a bunch of us, all of the production guys, we were at the school at 6 o'clock, at 5:30 that morning. Because one of the other roles I play is publicist. So I set up a ton of news coverage for us. So we were on Wish TV, WTHR, all that stuff. So our day started with me getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to get to the Dub by 5, to get to the school by 5:30, to meet up with Wish TV to do an interview with Malenko at the school, and then at the Dub with Dex, and then all kinds of stuff. Then the event itself was just a whirlwind because so much work went into putting that show on. I was at the Royal Rumble Media Scrum Day where you interview like Penta and Chuska, all those people. I get done with that. I call a kid. I'm like, you called me like 25 times. I was doing media. What's up? He's like, I need you to go to WrestleCon and work our table with Mr. Anderson. So I went straight from there to the Dub, got a shirt, went to WrestleCon, did that, then went straight to the show and met up with all the publications, magazines, and newspapers. We'd set up the media coverage there. And then watching that big of a show from the same point of view you guys had, because I was doing commentary, which is really hard to do. You guys know how hard that job is. Commentary is so hard to do. It's easy for a match or two. It's really hard for a whole show. But seeing that many people at a WCWO show, we're talking 945 people at a WCWO show 3 blocks away from SmackDown during SmackDown one night before the Royal Rumble, which is also a block away. To have guys like Chavo Guerrero and Mr. Anderson, and then let's not forget Dayami Ho and Missa Kate. Missa Kate's definitely big deal, you know. But what's more important to me wasn't just having those guys on our show, but seeing our wrestlers to be able, and Too Tough Tony, be able to put on matches and a show, be able to hang with those wrestlers and that caliber of a name. And then to hear guys like Chavo come backstage and say, that Logan, he's good. You know, somebody saying that Dex Royal Kid is freaking good. Like, hearing those wrestlers put over our talent so heavily was really cool, but also seeing how stressed out Joey was going into that show and seeing him be able to put on a show to get that big of a crowd for a company that his dad created and built from the ground up, that he took over, and probably the darkest possible time in that family's history, be able to see it come full circle from where it was in 2020 when I came in to now, was really, really, really emotional for a lot of us. It was a special night, man. Like, I didn't believe anybody when they said, like, 5:30 that night, the line was wrapped around the building.
Oh yeah, it was crazy. I walked outside. I came back in and told him. I said, "The line's wrapped all the way down, all the way around."
Yeah. They're hanging from the rafters, guys.
Yeah, they were.
You know? It was
what
emotional.
was scary. What was scary about that was the gym already looked pretty much full, and you walk outside like, where are all these people going to go?
I just remember, and let's not forget, we had another show at midnight.
Yep.
So I remember in between shows, Joey had me stick around to make sure everybody was out of the building, make sure it was good to lock up. And I just remember the night was over, all of the fans were out. There was only maybe 3 or 4 of us left in the building. I remember just standing in that gym, just looking at that ring and just thinking, holy shit, what did we just do? You know, I'm not a snitch. Wayne got himself fired. I didn't snitch on anybody. But, you know, just seeing the feelings after that show was over were really special. They've been able to put on that After Dark show with no limits whatsoever on what we could say or do. Oh my God. And the fact that everybody stuck around for that show, we didn't lose any people until what? What time did you get out of there, Marcus?
Oh, it was 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock.
It was
Something like that,
4.
It was such a special night.
I think it was a little after 4 when we got back. When we got to our hotel, it was about 4.
We didn't get home till like 6, so because we stopped at 8. Yeah, it was late.
It was a special night. It was a special night that I hope we can do again sometime.
That unrated show was fun too. That was a fun time.
Best part of that night was me being able to flip off Gabby Abby. That was the best part of the night.
Marcus, we're down to our final 2 questions.
Okay, good
Yes.
deal. Okay, now I know you're very professional, I assume, in your job. But I want to know the biggest wrestling personality that you have marked out for. That you're like, oh shit, really? That you kind of lost that professional self. Like, am I really standing here next to Liv Morgan or whoever? Because we've seen the grin on your face. But
so many people were jealous about that selfie I posted too. Man, it's weird with wrestling anymore. Nothing does that to me anymore. I was at WrestleCon, Ric Flair walked by. I'm like, oh, Flair. You know, I don't get those anymore, especially with how normal it feels.
okay, so who was the first one you marked out for when you first started then?
Jericho, probably. Because I got an interview with him in 2012 when he was on tour with Fozzy. And I literally set it up the night before. And the next day at noon, my wife and I were on his tour bus interviewing Chris Jericho. And I'm like, you're Chris Jericho. That was 2012. You know, so there's that one. Yeah, probably that. When it comes to music, Corey Taylor's always up there. That one's always going to be up there because Slipknot, Stone Sour, Iowa guy. Awesome. I got to interview him on a red carpet. That was fun. Then sports, it's not really a lot. You know, honestly, there's not a lot. So, but yeah, for wrestling and sport music, it'd be those guys, I think.
Warren?
All right, I will switch it up a little bit, but we're still going to use the time machine. Let's go back in time. What band would you just want to photograph from history that you just would just like, if I could do one band?
Meatloaf.
Oh, that's a good one.
Never got to see him.
That's a good one.
There's not a lot of those left for me, but it's always got to be somebody who's dead or not touring anymore.
Well, I'd love to go to Ramones. Like I would be like, or Hendrix. Like those are like the ones I would just love to.
Big Hendrix guy. Logan Myers and I disagree on music so much. I can't stand Queen or David Bowie or Zeppelin or Pink Floyd. Not a fan. And I love Rob Zombie's Halloween movies. He hates them. We'll never agree. Elvis, Johnny Cash and Elvis would probably be up there just because the legendary status. Yeah. But probably Meatloaf because I love that first record, man. Yeah. I was trying. He just stopped touring before I started shooting. Like, I asked if he'd come out of retirement. They said no.
I got to see Johnny Cash. I was probably 5 or 6 years old with my parents.
Nice.
Johnny Cash showed up drunk in a cab. I do remember that.
I'd love to see Mitch Hedberg too. That before he was so
Mitch would have been great.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Yes.
Escalator can never be broken. It can only become stairs.
His apartment is still infested with koala bears, man.
Okay. In your opinion, what sets WCWO apart from other promotions?
We're the only place that runs that I know of. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, that's on me. The only place that runs the consistently 52 weeks every year, weekly shows.
You got one more. Supreme in Madison runs every Saturday.
Okay, like I said, I could be wrong. As you guys know, I don't get out much. 3 kids, hard to do. We do it at a different level. I'm sure they all do storylines too. We're a family-friendly show. I always tell people, as a parent, you're never going to have to come to the show and try to explain to your kids what you saw or heard, unless IK3 is on the show. Then you might, but
Mom,
it's. Why's Mom a hoe? Why do you say my mom's a hoe? I don't know. But it's a family atmosphere. It's a 52 a week weekly show. But everybody who's there feels like they're welcome there. It's a locker room that changes almost every single year or two, but every couple of years, when it changes, we consistently have a locker room that doesn't put up with egos. Everybody's there for the same purpose. It's just a special atmosphere. When that place is packed, when you walk in, it doesn't look like much. When that place is packed and the lights go down, it's something special, man. Just the atmosphere and everybody that's there cares about each other. When the hardest stuff happened in my life in 2021, that was the first place I went, was there. It's a special place. It's always going to be home, and I wish more people felt that way when they leave, that it's always home.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yep.
Your turn.
Out of doing the sports and shooting concerts and the wrestling, which one is your favorite to do?
Concerts, man. I love wrestling, but I don't get to shoot wrestling as much anymore.
Yeah.
Because every time, even if I set foot 5 seconds into that Outlaw arena, I can't stand out there anymore because somebody takes the focus off of the match and puts it on me. That's not what I'm there for. So I don't get to shoot wrestling as much as I want to anymore. Concerts is always going to be my favorite just because that's what got me started. And if I hadn't done concerts, I wouldn't have gotten into sports and I wouldn't have gotten into wrestling. It's always going to be concerts because there's just no feeling like standing up against the stage when Lamb of God or Slipknot or Volbeat is like right there. It's a feeling you can't get anywhere else. But wrestling's a close second, but I just don't get to shoot it much anymore. And when I do, it's from hard cam, which is nowhere near as fun as ringside.
Marcus?
Well, that's why I always giving you kudos because you were professional enough that you walked to the back.
Yeah.
Because the fans are supposed to be watching the match. They're not supposed to be watching the
I said I legitimately
see
just
those
go
on
out there.
there.
I legit just go out there to see the match in person up close. And the second I feel the one thing that I always tell people is I slow down is don't be a mark for yourself. You know, there's a time for that reaction to come to me, but it doesn't need to be when Mark Magnus is trying to get over in front of the crowd, because then they're not watching him trying to get over. They're booing me, and I'm not involved in the segment. Now, the second I step in that ring or inside that barricade, that's completely different. But it's important to not be a mark for yourself, because then it gets stale. If you let them do that all show long, it doesn't mean anything anymore. And so you have to know when the right time is to go to the back and get out of that ring. You know, and you can just feel it, you know, like, yeah, you have to be.
All right. Can I ask the question?
Yes.
That was just
Yeah, I
because I've
know.
been there and seen it. So, funny story. I told you to come up with one.
I was talking to Timmy Jackson about this earlier because I legitimately was having trouble coming up with one. He brought up a really fun one. I'm pretty sure this was 2021. I could be completely off, but I'm pretty sure it is, because it was around the time that I was going to be like leaving the Dub for a little bit for personal stuff. And JKO and Blake Bright had their story going, and Blake was looking for a way for Blake to get heat out there. And I was like, I've got an idea. I'm going to be leaving. What if I go out there and Blake goes out and threatens to burn the building down, and I go out there and stop him, and then he nutshots me and pours the containers of the gasoline can all over me. And we're like, yeah, that's a great idea. And
We were at that show, weren't we?
yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
he grabbed the wrong gas can. I'm laying on the ground face down, and that doesn't smell like water. And, the whole time he's yelling, I'm going to burn this thing. I am so sorry. I'm going to burn it down. I'm going to light it. I'm really not going to light it. I'm sorry. Luckily, Hillbilly Jed came out for the save, and I was not lit on fire in front of a live crowd. That shirt is still in the production room. It still smells like straight kerosene, guys. 4 years, that is crazy. That's really the first one that comes to mind. It's been long enough now that I can tell that story. There's some that it's just still really, really recent. I don't feel comfortable revealing a lot of current backstage stuff, but that's 4 years now, and one of those guys is no longer at the Dub, so I can tell that story.
Warren?
All right, my last one. I think I might already know the answer to this one, but are you a degenerate or are you a NWO?
NWO is what got me into wrestling. That's what got me interested was the NWO. Then they added 95 people, and it became. I wasn't watching the WWF when DX was going, man.
I mean, based on your background too, with your family, you probably.
I wasn't allowed to.
Really quick.
I tried to watch Raw a couple times, and every time the Brood's doing a bloodbath, or the Undertaker's got someone crucified, or there's a bra and panties match, I wasn't allowed to watch it until WCW folded in 01. And then they had to let me watch it, but they made sure I went to church the next Sunday.
So you probably didn't watch any ECW then, because
dude, that thing was on at 3:00 in the morning on TNN in Iowa, man. We're lucky we had enough rabbit ears to get TNN half the time. You know, like I always knew about ECW, but it was always that golden goose that you could never find on TV. I found it once when I was in Missouri at like one of my mom's family friends' house being babysat, and I tried to watch it. And they said no. So, yes, oh god, NWO. I didn't get to watch DX until I was older. What a weird life, man.
I'm going to say about 4 or 5 names here, and I want to know what you think of when I say this person's name. First one's Joey Owens.
Dad, family, underappreciated.
Next one, Big Pete.
Puts his nose in my business where it doesn't belong. And grabs me by the throat and throws me to the ground out of nowhere. No, man. Big Pete and Joey were there for me through the hardest times of my life, and those guys are always going to be family to me. And Pete and I had some really fun times on Inside the Tub. Yeah, we did some fun stuff.
IK3.
Underrated, wrongfully accused, good guy, deserves more than he has.
Say Gates.
Yeah, biggest champ, baby. Learning the business finally, and finally figuring out who he is and how to treat it like a business.
I got one last one. TJ Powers.
Oh man, legend, veteran, underrated mind, good guy, and apparently the creator of Future Champions.
Yep. Chris?
All right, what I do for my last question is give you a chance to promote yourself, tell people where they can find your sports stuff, your photos, all that good stuff.
Sure. Yeah, music of the front row report or front row report. You can find it either way. It's front row report on YouTube. That's where all my interviews are at. All of the photos I've shot for sports, concerts, everything is at edwardsphoto.smugmug.com. But sports is going to be Indy Sports Daily, like you guys have plugged. And then obviously wrestling, just come to the Outlaw Arena any Friday night. I'll be there. May not always be in front of the crowd, but I will be there. So WCWO, MLW, one of the most underrated promotions that there is, all that. But Front Row Report, Indy Sports Daily, Edwards Photo, Smug Mug, that's where people can find my stuff. And YouTube is going to be the Front Row Report.
Well, we appreciate you coming on with us, man. It's been a great interview. Go ahead.
I got the numbers right now. The numbers are through the roof. The Edwards Misery combination. They're even in LA right now. They're talking about Edwards and Misery.
That's right. Yes, not good things, but they're talking.
I was going to say, but what are they saying?
They're saying that the Edwards and Misery can literally solve the riot problem in LA right now.
But that's
God, we could have told them that though before I came on. I mean, I'm looking at the numbers right now, and this is the highest rated show. Your ratings have never been better. Trust me, through the roof. So good ratings. That's right. As long as more people watch than that watch the Gabby Abby episode, we're good. And I'm sure they did.
Well, again,
I'm sure they did too.
Hey, thanks for coming on. We really appreciate it, man. Like I said, it's been a really good interview. Really
I appreciate that. Thanks for having me, guys. It was good to be on.
Yep. We'll definitely in a few months maybe have you on again.
Marcus knows where to
I had
find
some questions. I had some questions I didn't get to.
I got a whole head full of questions too. I never even brought up the cake. Save it for the future.
That's okay. We don't need to go there. We don't need to go there. It's been 5 years. We can let that die. So, yeah, bring me back on. We'll do a special edition episode or something.
Yeah.
I got you. Oh, cool. Let's have a good night.
Yep. Everybody have a good night.
You too.
Well, anybody got anything else?
I don't think so.
Weekend of fun. Lots
Yeah.
of shows.
Got show Saturday. Marcus, help me out.
Friday at the Dub.
Yep, Friday at the Dub. Saturday
Frankfurt on
Frankfurt.
Saturday.
And Sunday,
VW.
Yep, and
WCWO.
Oakwood, Illinois.
Somewhere, like I said, watch on the Facebook page if there's an announcement of the move to the Skateland, and if it gets moved to Skateland, get there early.
I was just getting ready to say that.
If it does get moved, if I see it on there, I'll try to post it on our page as well.
Yeah, Warren's right. If it moves over to the Skateland, you better get there when them doors open because that room fills quick.
Very limited seating there. So everybody have a good night, and we'll see everybody next week.
Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Gonzo's Sports Room. Like and follow Facebook, Twitch, X, Instagram, all at Gonzo Sports Room as well. And we'll see you guys on Monday. And of course, I'm not in the right spot.
That'd be absolutely devastating.
This is G.W.R show. They've been trying to get me on this broadcast forever, and this is the worst damn broadcast I've ever been on. So you all can kiss my ass while I win this match.